because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse number 21. So Jesus suffered for us. He became a servant to you and I and to all the world. And that's the teaching that Jesus teaches us. And I've said this in the very early parts of the week of this broadcast, that I'm a person who have a lot of flaws. And I would never want to try to convince this radio audience that I'm some perfect person of perfection, because I'm far from that. But I do believe in the teachings of Jesus Christ. And I do believe that when he teaches us to forgive, when he teaches us to become a servant to our fellow man, that's very real. And I do my best to try to act that out. Now, in the type of work that I do, I was at a particular place and a man came to me and he said that I had violated his property, something that I had done. And I told him, I said, no, I wasn't even near your property. And he said, well, you did. And it had been a very difficult day. I'd worked really hard that day, and it was late, and it was hot, and I just wanted to go home. But I realized that this person was very upset with me and was making accusations. So I looked at him and I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I didn't do what you accused me of, but this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to service your property in the type of work that I do. I'm going to do from A to B. And when I'm done, it'll be good and you'll be happy with it. And he looked at me and he said, why would you do that? I said, because you've made accusations, and the only way that I'm going to convince you of my good heart is to do this for you. So I said, I'm going to go ahead. It's going to take me about 2 hours, and I will perform this service for you, and it will not cost you a dime. And he just looked at me like, you're crazy. But I was just trying to demonstrate to him that I'm not going to stand here and argue with you about this, and I'm not going to escalate the situation. I'm just going to become a servant to you. And I'm going to show you the heart of the God that I serve. And he just looked at me, and he just turned around and just walked away. He says, don't worry about it. Well, you go back to what I was talking about yesterday, the story that I told you. We can get our backs up. We can begin to scream and yell and holler at people. And what you'll end up with is a mess. And sometimes it can become very, very serious as far as the way it escalates. Sometimes people are hurt or killed. But I'm mindful of the scripture. The Lord said, he said, agree with your adversary quickly, so as not to cause it to be more than it should be. But see, this comes back to two things. One is, do we believe what the Lord teaches us? And then second, it has to do with being in control and discipline. Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.